Hi, this is TapCat. Welcome back for part 3 of Let's Play Planet Coaster. It looks like we have achieved one of our challenges to get a profit of $2,500 in 1 month. So let's go ahead and grab our reward. May be a little while before we do this, although I actually think we'll get to 600 before too long on our approval rating. Now there's a number of things I would like to do to begin this installment, and I clicked the wrong button. Let's go to scenery. I realized that I've put very few benches down in this area of the park, and this is probably too many benches, to be fair, but I would rather have too many than too few. They're pretty cheap, and if they don't have one and they want it, you know, it's kind of bad. Now, another thing I noticed, I'm not quite sure how I managed to do this, but basically I kind of did a submarine version of the Cosmic Cow milkshake. Now, the funny thing is, it is still functioning, but let's just bring him above ground, shall we? I think that will work better. Now let me just make sure it's working. It sucks that I lost all my customers momentarily. I just want to make sure that new people get in line and I can make a sale. Sometimes these shops do get twitchy, and I am a little concerned that I don't see anybody there yet. Come on. Okay, this guy's a bit of a sad sack, but he seems to be interested in a shake. Sweet. All right, now I know it's working. So, having done that, I want to change the names for a number of rides, and also, what am I thinking? Customize more of the colors. So this one was actually a viewer suggestion that I really liked. Since it's got teacups and a teapot and all that, Mrs. Potts Tea Time. So a little Beauty and the Beast reference there. I like that. And let's see. For Wild Blue, what was I going to call that? Right. It gets planes and all that. So we're going to call this Kamikaze Blue, because it's definitely blue. Now, next up, I wanted to tweak this one a couple of ways. First of all, I don't really love this color. So we're going to do that. And then we're going to do something like this, but preferably a yellow that doesn't suck. I would prefer. So let me do this. That's okay. So I'll go ahead and leave it. I don't want to take up a ton of time if we're kind of 90% there. And then let me go ahead and name this as well. Cap'n TapCat's Wheel. Oh, God, I can't type. Oh, death. All right. I'm very happy with that. Now, this one, I don't want to change anything as far as the looks go. I think it's pretty good as it is, to be honest. But we're going to call this Catherine the Great's. Stable isn't quite the right word. What's the area? Paddock. That's where you work out horses. And Catherine, she loved her horses. So now, let's see. Since we did Mrs. Potts over there, I'm thinking we'll call this Lumiere's Arms of Chaos. I'm not. It's tall like a candlestick. Just, go with me on that. Okay, so I also had a name for this one. Now, this isn't going to make a lot of sense as I type it, but it will, because I'm going to change the color of the coaster. It's actually more purple. Okay, that's not actually exactly where I want it either. All right, that's not bad. By the way, you don't need to tell me that this is a bit garish. A bit, but I actually, kind of like it. At night, it should look cool, if nothing else. Okay, the other thing I was going to do, I'm very happy with the purple and gray, but I'll tell you what I'm not happy with, because these details, they vex me. They do. See, the brain, it's purple, but the brain shouldn't be purple. It should be gray. So what I want to do is I want to switch the gray and the purple. So let's see. The purple is 674 EA7. 674 EA7. 674 EA7. Okay? So that fixes that one. And then this one was very easy. It was A1, A1, A1. So now the brain is gray, and I don't remember being able to see this design before either. So I still have the same color scheme, so I'm pretty happy about that. Now, can I didn't actually mean to do that. So let me do this. There we go. I think I'm pretty good with that overall. I'm going to go ahead and leave this black. All right, so unfortunately, Kamikaze Blue broke down. And that actually reminds me, I think what I probably need to do, even though I hate to spend the money, I think I'm going to hire a second mechanic. So let me go ahead and do that right now. And I'll just drop him right here so he can be the one to fix this. And then what I'm going to do is similar to what I did with janitors. I'm going to set up work rosters because it's too important to keep these rides moving. I cannot have them breaking down all the time. So let's see. I want this. Let me do that. This and this. And we'll call that front. Okay, and then I want to create another roster, and I will add the carousel first because it's just difficult often to add it. And we'll call it, okay, that wasn't exactly what I intended. Let me edit the name because I'm not going to remember what my new roster is. And we're going to call this back. Okay. Now, having done that, I'm going to go here. And I'm going to say, Daniel, since you're already in back, be a good, or up front, be a good lad and take care of that for me, if you would be so kind. And Wilbert, really? Wilbert? Okay. You are in the back, so you take care of those. Now, the other thing I'm going to do, because I do think this ride may be a bit more cranky than most, I'm going to go ahead and ask him to inspect this every 20 minutes. All right. And let me see. Actually, having just done that, it's in good shape. So I'm going to leave that be. So this is the one that is in the worst shape. And I think what I'm going to go ahead and do is just request an inspection so that he'll get on that. Are any of these particularly good or bad? They're all pretty strong. This is the worst, so I'll try to bump that to the top of the list. Okay, so I think that's everything that I was going to do to lead off. Now, that's not all we're going to do this installment. Don't get me wrong. I said last time we would probably go ahead and build a coaster, and I have not seen anything to change my mind on that score. We're also going to get 2 challenges satisfied potentially if we build a coaster. So I am pretty okay with that. Now, I have said repeatedly, I am not going to leave the park laid out like this. This is kind of a temporary thing. What I think I'm going to do, though, is, I'm not moving anything in the next 5 seconds either. I am going to go ahead. I only have 2 coasters that I get to choose from. By the way, before I do this, pardon me, I know it's probably frustrating. Yeah, this is what I wanted to see. Forge. So I don't think I'm going to start researching anything like really expensive right now. But what I maybe do is something like a ATM. And it's only $100 a month, and that's fine. But at least we're moving forward, on something. So now I have blueprints for coasters, and like this one in particular, it's pretty good, right? 7.35 excitement. That's not bad. The problem is, I'm sorry, 7.97 is this one. The fear is an almost perfect 5.04, and the nausea very low 2.47. I'd build this right now if I could, but I can't because that particular coaster type is locked. And also, too, I think that as a general rule, my suspicion is you would rather see me build something in the game, at least for some of them. So I'm thinking I'm going to do this, and I'm also going to go ahead and elevate it somewhat. And then we will actually, you know what? While I'm building, I don't really need to do that. When I place it, I may elevate it and kind of move it in here. It'll help some of these ride queues a little bit. Okay, I'm not going to worry about the one ride breaking down. I have the mechanics over there, so it should get sorted out pretty quickly. All right, so first things first, which way do we want this coaster to go? And am I even putting this in the right spot? Maybe. I'm actually, so there's not enough room for me to be confident of coming this way, but it's probably okay. Okay, well, the first thing I want to do is actually build on the block section. I'm going to put 2 of them. That way we can have extra trains. Hold on. I almost forgot. Can I add cars to the existing train? I should have done this. And it does not look like it. I hope I just haven't forgotten how to do it. But I think you can't make them all bigger. It depends on the coaster. So, okay. Wait a second. I think it just did. Okay, this is going to get on my nerves. Okay. Please do that. Okay. So now we're going to actually start building the coaster part of the coaster. We're going to come up as much as we... Whoa, what just happened? Wow, that was trippy. I'm going to start doing this live, and then I'm going to switch to time lapse. As you can see, look how long it took me just to do that. That was kind of ridiculous. This is as far up as I can go. Now, I just realized I don't necessarily need to go fast for this. We want a decent climb. And then We're going to come down and we go to normal track. Now, you don't really have to do anything too fancy for this. We can just do a good old-fashioned drop. And then we're going to start pulling up. In my mind, the real key to doing a coaster that won't make people sick or super afraid is not being too extreme in your changes of either, elevation or turning. So like if you're going down hard and then all of a sudden you're just going up, the G-forces are sick and you'll make your people sick as a result. So you don't want to do that. That's all. Actually, I'll leave that one the way it is. I am going to go ahead and bank it a little bit more, and then we'll come over. And then I'm going to go ahead and start lifting just a little bit. And yep, just a nice graceful arc. You don't have to do loops, by the way. And I have observed that a lot of times what happens is loops aren't even necessarily exciting, especially if you're not going that fast. Okay, I want to see how we're doing. Actually, all that looked pretty good, pretty good. Unfortunately, we don't get a final result where you can really see what your ratings are until we finish it completely. So that's unfortunate, but it is what it is. All right, so now what I'm trying to do, I'm just straightening it out, and now you can see like we're going to start coming down, but it was a very gradual change. And we don't need it banked anymore. So, and again, like I don't go from no banking to, massive tilt. I try to keep it pretty gentle. Okay, now I do want to let this go through. Let me kind of follow this again. All those numbers are still good. We're going to use the heat map. I want to see how fast we're going here. All right, we get up to 53 here, and I guarantee you it's a little faster at least there. So the question is, can I put in some kind of roll or loop without this stupid thing going berserk on the, scare factor? So let's try this. Actually, I'm going to leave this just a perfectly straight piece of track. That's not something I lay down very often because your excitement goes down really quickly when you do that. Let me get rid of this so I can actually see the train. Oh, that's something I needed to do. So I completely forgot what I'll need to do. I'll let this go, but we're going to increase the speed of the chain. And yeah, I was missing the live data. Okay, so that area not so good. The fear and nausea were kind of cranked up. So I have a choice. A lot of times you can live with one area that's not great for fear and nausea. Your averages will still be very good. Like see, 6.5 as the worst part by far of the whole coaster. That's actually not terrible. My biggest concern is what this is, because this is 6.51, but this is deep red. So I fear it's like 9 or worse. Yeah. Let me try something. Well, first of all, let me get rid of the heat map. We need to fix the chain. So let's do this. Okay. So that's done. Next, what if I come back? I'm going to kind of undo this. What if I make this bigger? Will that you know, soften it a little bit. I actually need to come back this way, although that might be a little too soon now that I think about it. Yeah, after all that, let's give them just a little break. I don't really need to go too far over to the left. I just want enough that I can do that. Okay, before I go any farther, let me get some live data. Where is the car? Did I stop the test? No, it's just not running. Okay, let me stop it and start it again. Oh, I get it. It helps a lot if you don't have the game paused. So I'm going to go ahead while it's dorking around. I will, I need to keep coming up. Let's see. Will I have the speed to do this? Let me watch this. How we doing? Not great. Not great. That was a lot more sustained than I hoped it would be. Well, so let me do this. Supposing we click this piece of track and we put, it won't let me? Okay. We'll put a trim brake. Slow them down a little bit. You know, it helps, but not a ton. So I don't know. We're pretty close to finishing the coaster. So let me just do this. Oh, that's horrible. But that's okay. I'm not going to keep this. It's just going to let me get final numbers so I have some idea what we're up against. And we'll just, I just want to finish this because I can use the heat maps after. Okay, that is pretty horrific. The nausea is only a little high, but the excitement isn't anywhere near good enough. And of course, the fear is really bad. So I think what I need to do is just... Oh, okay. I got a little carried away there. Because I actually think... Well, no, I guess I don't. All right. Let me screw this. I'm not going to get fancy. We are simply going to do another climb. I'm just going to basically make kind of a humpbacked setup here where we go through a series of drops and hills. And let me see what that does. Like, let's watch this. You know, all that's pretty good. The funny thing is, I think all of us want to do some super exciting, fancy thing. And what you're actually doing is making your life so much harder. Okay. I'm going to start evening that out. And I'm going to start turning this too. And we'll start banking it because I'm getting ready to come in for a landing. Let's bank it more. And again, actually, hang on. Okay, this one's okay, but I want this one to come up a little. And now it's time to stop banking as much. Go ahead and add that out. Start straightening it up. And I have to come down. And now, let's see. Okay, this area might be a little rough, but we're so close to the end. I think this could be kind of an interesting result. So to look at it from the outside, this is not one of the more exciting coasters you're ever going to see, right? It's not one of the more innovative ones for sure. How does it stack up? not as good as I was hoping. The fear actually isn't high enough. The excitement isn't quite high enough, but of course the nausea is like amazingly good to be that low. So I feel like we just want to find a way to punch up the weakest part. Now, the first thing is always crap. I mean, that's just like a given. Going up the hill, it's always boring for people. So what I'm looking at is this area right here where you're slowing down. That is not good. So the question is, what can I do to make that better? Because I would like to get this up over 7 if possible. By the way, anything here that I need to worry about? There's a research project. Okay, the ATM. That's fine. Is there anything inexpensive that I want to do? I actually don't care about information kiosks. I don't intend to do those queues. I think I'll go ahead and research Gulpy. So we're just going to do really cheap research to make sure we have more than ample money to do this. All right, I think this is what we're going to do. I am going to leave it here for now. But when we come back, I will work on this in time-lapse mode so you can see what I'm doing, and I will describe it, but I'll do that after the fact over a sped up version, because a lot of times what happens is that I'll get close like this, relatively close, because I do think this could definitely use some punching up. But it could take me an hour or however long to make it get to where it's the rest of the way there. And, that's really going to be painful for you to sit through. Thank you for watching. I hope we see you next time.